Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Projects. I am back with another video. So from this video we are going to start Kotlin for Android development. So if you are Android development and want to develop Android apps, then right now the good choice is to start Android development with Kotlin. You can also start with Java, but if you know Java, then it is better time, or we can say right time, to shift on Kotlin, because Kotlin is now official language for developing Android apps. And if you want to develop more complex app with MVVM architecture, like to create APIs and background threading, then we should know Kotlin, because Kotlin is very helpful and very easy to develop these kind of applications. And almost every companies require Kotlin right now. So that's why you should know Kotlin also if you are Android development. Kotlin is going to become the future of Android development. So if you don't start learning Kotlin till now, then you are doing very big mistake. So if you want to start learning Kotlin, then this video is just for you. After watching this video, your every doubt is going to be clear. So if you never learn Kotlin, and if you never develop any single application in Kotlin, then you should know some topics, or we can say some important things in Kotlin before developing a single Android application with Kotlin. So that's why I am creating this video. In this video we are going to cover most of the basics topic which are required to start Android development with Kotlin. So we are going to do lots of things in this video of related to Kotlin. So if you also want to learn Kotlin, then you can check out this video. So now in this video, first of all, I will show you what we are going to do. So for this, I open this roadmap. So first of all, you can see these are the topics which we are going to do in today's video. So first of all, we will see how to create a simple program in Kotlin. Then we will see what is var and val. Then we will see how to take input from user, display input from user. Then we will see functions and conditional statements, loops, when, range, class, inheritance, collection, mutable and immutable, like what is ArrayList and what is hash set. So we are going to do this thing. Then we have a string templates, like how to calculate a string of length of string and copy functions like this kind. Then we have a data class. So we are going to do these topics in Kotlin today. And now 3 or 4 topics are left after watching this video. And that topics are nullable, how to check nullable, and lambdas. So and abstract classes. So these 3 topics are left, but you can start Android development after clearing this topic. So in this video, I am going to completely explain these topics. So if you never do Kotlin, then this video is just for you, because I am going to try everything in very easy way. So don't further delay. Now let's start the video and start the journey of Android development in Kotlin. So first of all, if you want to do Kotlin, then you can use online compiler, or you can download IntelliJ IDE. So it is good to download IntelliJ IDE. So I already downloaded the IntelliJ IDE. So I open it. One more thing I want to say, if you don't subscribe our channel, then please subscribe the channel for amazing tutorials related to Android and web development. So my IDE is open. Now for showing you how to create a first program in Kotlin and how to clear our every topics, then let's create a new file. So you have to go on file, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on project, and after this you have to select from here console application, not application, console application. Then you can give any name to your application. So I give the name kotlin-tutorial, and then I click on next, and you have to click on finish. So it will create this program. So I open this program in this window. So this is the one dark theme. So if you want to know what is the name of this thing, this is the one dark theme. So you can install this theme in your IntelliJ IDE, and it looks very prettier. So now you can see our program is created successfully, and we are ready to write the code in Kotlin. So in your src folder, open your src, then inside your main folder, then you have a Kotlin, and this is your file name main.kt. So Kotlin extension has main.kt. So you can see. Now you can minimize it. So I minimize it. Now we can run this. So if I click on run, main.kt, so you can see it is showing me output here. So when you run this first time, it will take some time, depend on your system configuration. So you can see we are getting the output hello world. So now let's start the journey of Kotlin. So first of all, if you want to create a single line program in Kotlin, then you have to create a function main. If you are a background from like C, C++, Java, then as you already know, we have to create a main function. In C and C++, we have to create a void main. Then in Java, we have public static void main inside a class. But in Kotlin, we have to simply type here fun. So fun is a keyword for creating the function, and the main is the compulsory method. So main is the function name, and you can't change this name if you want to create. So you can see it is not showing the option of run, because it does not contain any main function. So that's why. So now close this, and we can run this. So now one thing I also want to tell you, if you want to create function hello world program, so you can see this function contains some arguments as a string. So you can delete this, and you can also create a single line program using this. Okay, so if I run this program, you can see I am going to get the output of hello world. So you can see I get the output. So this is how you can create the hello world in Kotlin. So let's delete this first of all everything and start typing from scratch. So if I type a main function main, then 2 brackets, and after this we can write whatever the code we want. So here our code. So for now I type here println. Println is basically for printing the new statement in new line. So hello viewers, and you don't need to add a semicolon here in Kotlin. It is optional. So you can also add semicolon, and you can also, it is your choice whether you want to add semicolon or not, but it is your choice. But if you are writing big code, then try to make a consistency. If you add a semicolon here, then try to add semicolon everywhere, and if you don't add here, then don't add anywhere. So if I add a semicolon here and then I run this program, you can see I am going to get the output of hello viewers. So it is also work fine. So semicolon is in Kotlin semicolon is optional. So now let's discuss our second topic, which is what is var and val in Kotlin. So the second topic is var and val. So let us suppose you want to take an input from user, or you want to declare some variables in Kotlin and for any kind of work. So for this you have to know how to declare variables. So there are 2 types of variable present in Kotlin. One is var and one is val. So I will show you what is the difference between them by example. So let us I type here var, then after this I give any variable name. For now I give the x. Then the format of declaring a variable in Kotlin, first of all you have to use the keyword var. Then after this you have to give the variable name. Then you have to give the colon, and then after this you have to give the variable type. So you can type int, you can type string, so it is your choice. So hope you understand how you can give. So now one more thing you can also do in Kotlin, if you want to directly assign the variable in x. So if I type here var x is equals to 5, so this is also a variable, and it automatically type of the variable. Kotlin compile this type of variable in integer, so you don't need to specify the type of variable if you directly assigning the value. But if you want to create a program, then you want to declare a variable here, and then you want to take input from user, then you have to declare the type here. Otherwise you no need to declare the type. So hope you understand. So for now, showing the difference between what is the var and val, I take a one input here var x is equals to 5. Then I take variable type of val, and then inside this I take here 5 inside this, and in both variables I store the value 5. So you can see this is the keyword, and this is the variable name, and this is the value. Now if I type here print, and if I type here print x and also println and type the value y. So let's run this program, and what we are output we are getting. So we are getting, you can see 5 5. So let's change the line first here, and this is for 51. Let's change this and now run this. So now we are getting the output 51 and 5. You can see it is obvious because I printing the value of x and y. Now let us suppose if I want to change the value of x. So after declaring the value, I type here x is equals to 23. So you can see it is fine, and I also want to change the value of y. So y is equals to 12. So you can see it is showing error because val is something like final in Java. So we can't change the value of val. We can't change the value of val if we declare the variable type val. But if it is a var type, then we can change the value whenever we want. But if it is a val type of variable, then we can't change the value of it. So hope you understand what is the difference between val and var. Now let's run this program and see what error we are getting. So you can see it is showing val cannot be reassigned. So it means we can reassign the var, but val we can't reassign. So this is something like let us suppose you are creating an application, and in that application you want to declare a variable, and you want no one can change the variable in the entire program, so you can declare it val. So Kotlin take it very seriously, and you can see it is very easy. In Java we have to type here final and public static, something like that, and now we can type here directly val. So hope you understand what is the difference between val and var. Now I will show you how to declare a variable and then how to take input from user. So for this I delete this, and I also delete this. So if you are liking the tutorial, then please subscribe the channel and share the channel with your friends. So now let's see how to take input from user. So for this I declare a variable var. So I also delete this. Then after this I want to make a variable of string type whatever you want. So I declare a variable name x, and then I type here integer. So first variable I want integer type, then you don't need to add a semicolon here. So you can see variable x is declared successfully. Now let us suppose if I want to declare one more variable like string type, so var y, and I give the variable in variable type string. So now if I want to take any input from user, first of all I give the message enter any number, so it will going to show the message. Now how to take input from user? So for taking the input from user, we have to use the read line in Kotlin. So how to use read line in Kotlin? So where you want to store inside x. So I want to store a number which is entered by user inside x variable. So you have to type here x is equals to, and after this read line is a function for taking the strings, but we want to take integer here. So for this we have to type here integer dot value of, and inside this we have to call the readline function. So hope you understand how to take the integer type input in Kotlin. Now print the value of x. So print x. So this is fine. Now we have to take also a string. So if I type here y is equals to, and I can directly type here readline, so it will directly going to take this. So it is showing error, so let's see what is the error. So if we want to take a string, so you have to type here readline to string. So this is, so now you can see this is how you can take string from user. So print, first of all before taking the string I type here message enter any string, and now I will declare this string, display this string, so for checking whether it is working or not. So let's run this program and see the output of this program. So you can see it is saying enter any number. So let us suppose if I enter number 3, so you can see it display the output 3, and now it is saying enter any string. So I type here Brijesh. So you can see it is displaying the string Brijesh. So program works successfully. Now let us suppose you want to show the number which is entered by the user directly inside this with the help of string. So let us suppose first I add a println to change the line. Now you want to display that number with the help of string also, and together with string. So how you can do this? So for this you have to type here first of all the value of x, and then what you want to show, the value of x. So then you have to take here dollar, and then that's it. So it will going to print the message like the value of x, and then it will display the value of x. And this is same with string. If you want to display the string with your customized string, so you have to type here first of all println, then inside this you have to type here the string which is entered by user. You can type whatever you want is, then you have to type here dollar symbol, and at last you have to give your variable name, the value which you want to print on your console. So if I run this program, let's see what output we are going to get. So first of all let's say to enter your numbers, enter any number. So I enter 54. So you can see the value of x is 54, and then if I enter any string Brijesh, so you can see the string which entered by the user is Brijesh. So hope you understand how to also print the integer and strings inside with the help of string also. So this is the just basic input and output of in Kotlin, how to declare a variable of integer type, how to assign the values on runtime, and how to take the input from user on runtime, then how to display the values, and how to take both integer and strings, then how to display variables like something like that. And hope you understand. Now let's move on to our next topic, functions in Kotlin. So functions are very important in Kotlin, and if we want to go develop Android apps, then functions are going to play an important role in entire Android development. So let's see how functions work in Kotlin. So for this I delete this whole code, and let's start writing the code for function. Now one thing I forget to tell you, sometime before creating the function, one thing I want to tell you, if you want to sometime you want to display or want to print a type of variable, then how you can do this in Kotlin. So let us suppose if I have variable a, and by default what I assign inside this 5. So now if I want to print the type of this variable, then I have to use this one println, then C, then double colon, and then you have to type here class. So this is not C, this is A. So this is your variable name. Then you have to type here class dot simple name. So it will going to print the type of the variable. So if I run this program, let's see what output we are going to get. So you can see it is integer type. So hope you understand how this is work. Now if I type inside this, I store any string, and if I run this program, so I am going to get the output of string. So you can see, hope you understand. So this is also important thing you should know in Kotlin. Now let's see how to create a function in Kotlin. So for this I am going to create a simple sum function, and then we will create a maximum function. Then I will show you how to use a function as a variable in Kotlin. So first of all, if you want to create a function, then you have to come outside from this bracket. So minimize this screen, and you have to use this fun keyword, and then you have to give your function name. So my function is sum. So now inside this you don't need to pass anything, and this is our simple function to do anything. So it is a function without parameter and without return statement. Now if I want to call this function, so if I type here sum, and then inside this there is no benefit of calling this function without calling any parameter, without passing any parameter. So I can type here, if I want to pass some variables, let us suppose if I want to pass 2 and 3. So now it is showing error. So because it is not taking anything, but this function is passing some parameters here, or we can say some argument. So you can take your cursor here and click on add parameters to function sum. So you can see now it adds the parameter. So this is how we can create a function using parameter in Kotlin. So first of all, as I already tell you, you have to type the name of the variable, then you have to type colon, and then you have to type the variables. So by default it gives the names I and I1, so you can use any variable name like I and j, it is your choice. Now inside this, whatever the operation I want to perform with these two numbers, so let us suppose if I take a variable result, type here result, then inside this what I store inside this I plus j, then I can simply store the result inside our sum, and then I display this result, println and result. So this is how we can create the function. So if I run this program, so what output we are going to get, this is 5. So you can see our function is work fine. So hope you understand how to create a function. Now I will tell you how to use a function as a variable in Kotlin. So this is very amazing thing, and you should know how to do this. So first of all, I comment this line, and let us suppose your function is returning something. Let us suppose you calculate the result and you want to return the result. So you have to type here return, and then what you want to return, result. So now it is showing error because I don't type the return type of function. So take your cursor here, and then you have to click on change return type. So you can see it automatically add this return type. So this is the function with taking parameter and some return type. So if you want to return something from function, then you have to type colon after the brackets, and then you have to type the type of return, whether it is integer, string, float, whatever you want. So it will return the function, return the result. So if I take a variable here var, and then if I give the variable name result, and by default what I store inside this, the function which is returned by sum. So now if I try to print this result, so print, and inside this if I pass here result, so now it is showing me error. That's why, because I don't add a, by mistake the bracket is deleted, that's why it's showing error. So you can see it is fine. Now let's run this program, Control Shift F10. So we are going to get the same output 5. So you can see now if I want to type here to show you whether this statement is working, so the result is, and you can type here dollar, and then you can directly call this, the result is 5, and then you have to add a, close this by double quotes, run, and you can see the result is 5. Now one important thing I also want to tell you, let us suppose you don't want to declare a variable and you directly want to call this function. So you can also do this. So for this you have to use dollar here, then you have to take curly braces, and inside this you can directly call the function. So if I call this function, so I am also going to get the same result. So 3 and 4, 7. So it will going to show the result of 7. So you can see the result is 7. So you can see the Kotlin is very beautiful language, and you can do almost anything in very less number of codes. So this is how we can create the function. Now let's create one more function in Kotlin. But before creating a function in Kotlin, first one thing I want to show how to use if-else in Kotlin, because if you know if-else, then there is a benefit of creating that function to use a function as a variable. So I delete this. First of all, this is also using a function as a variable. Now I delete this, and I also delete this. Now try to understand what is if-else in Kotlin. So this is our next topic, if-else in Kotlin. So I open this, and now if I want to use if-else, so I declare a variable here var, and then I give the variable name a, and I assign this 4, then var. If I give the variable name b, and inside this what I store 5, then if a less than b, this is same like Java. If a greater than b, then what the performance, the operation which I want to perform. So let us suppose if I type here a is greater, whatever I want to print the message, a is greater. Now this is the same with else. So if else, and you have to type here print b is greater, otherwise b is greater. So let's run this program. First of all, this is the simple if-else condition, how to create this simple if-else. Then I will show you how to create complex one. So you can see b is greater, obviously. Now if I add this 43, and then I should get the output a is greater. So you can see a is greater. So this is work fine. Now how to use it as a variable in Kotlin. So if you are creating a function which will take two parameter and returning some value, so for that we have to use this function as a variable. So I delete this first of all, and instead of deleting this I can delete this where if else condition. Now if I want to create a function of to find the maximum of sub, I create a function here, find max of. So now I want to take two input from user because I want to pass two numbers, and then I have to check whether which number is greater. So as I already tell you, first of all you have to type variable name, then colon, then you have to type int, then after this comma, then your second variable name, and then the type of variable, and this is done. Now inside this you can perform whatever you want, but you can also use this function as a variable. So how you can use this as a variable? So for this you have to type here equal, and then you have to type here if a greater than b, then it should return. If a greater than b, then it should return a, otherwise it should return b. So this is how we can create the function using as a variable. So now if I call this function max of, and inside this if I pass the value also a and b, so it will going to display the output. So we are not using any int statement, but it will return something. So we are storing that result in any variable, like we are storing this result inside a result variable, then I can display that result. So you can see this is very amazing thing in Kotlin. So let's run this program and see what is the output of this. So if I run this, you can see I am getting the output 43 because 43 is greater. So you can see this is the beauty of Kotlin. I simply type here function max of, and it is taking two parameter. Then what I have to return in function, if a is greater than b, then I type a else b. So this is very easy. This is same like Python. Python is also very easy in terms of statements and in terms of writing code, and this is same with Kotlin. So you can see it is very amazing. Now let's move ahead. So hope you understand how if else work in Kotlin and how to create functions in Kotlin. Now let's talk about something loops. And so while and do while loop is same in Kotlin, but for loop is also same in Kotlin. Now I will show you how to work with for loop, and there are some important things in Kotlin which you should know in for loop. So if you are able to understand for loop, then you can easily understand while and do while loop. And I also recommend you go to the documentation of Kotlin, because Kotlin documentation is one of the best documentation of any language. So let's see how to use loops. So let us suppose if I take a number variable here var, and I give the variable name num, then inside this num I want to store 10 numbers. So I have to type here 1 double dot and 10. So you can see this is done. Now if I want to print all numbers, so how I can do this? I have to take a loop here, for loop, then inside this I have to take a variable, then of what variable I want to print the values of num. So if I type here in, you have to type the in keyword, then num, of which is the variable name which you want to print the values. So you have to take two curly braces, and then what you want to print, and I want to print I. So this is done. So it will going to print up to 1 to 10. So let's take this into println, because to change the line. So println and run this program. So you can see we are getting the output 1 to 10. So you can see this is very amazing thing in Kotlin also. So now I will show you some more thing in Kotlin in for loop. So let us suppose I want to increment number by 2, not 1. So by default it is printing 1 2 3 4, but I want to do something like that 1 3 5 7, something like this. So you have to type a step, and then you have to type any step number. So if I type here 2, then it will step the numbers by 2. So now if I run this, you can see 1 3 5 7 9. Now if I type here 3 inside this, here if I type here 3 and run this program, so I am going to get the output here 1 4 7 10. So hope you understand this is also very amazing thing in Kotlin. Now you can also perform this for loop using a with string. So if I type here var, and then this I give the variable name fruits, and then I create a list. So in Kotlin if you want to create a list, so then you have to type here list of, and inside this you can store whatever you want. So if I type here kiwi, any fruits name, then apple, then mango. So now if I want to print this fruits name, so I take a variable for, and I in, then fruits, then I want to print these fruits, so I type here print I. So this is done. Now run this program. So you can see I am getting the output kiwi, apple, mango. So hope you understand how for loop is work. Now there is one more thing in for loop in Kotlin, like step we have also have a down parameter, to down keyword to decrement the values. So now I will show you how to work with down. So let us suppose you want to print a number from x to 9, and you want to go from 9 to 0 and by step something. So let us suppose if I create a for loop here, then I want to go from x, and this is just a variable name, so in 9, so it will start from 9, x in 9, and then I want to down to 0, so up to where I want to go, up to 0, and then I can type here step 2 or 3, but let's start printing this before step. So if I type here print ln, then if I type here x, then run this program, so it will going to print all number from 9 to 1. So you can see 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now if I type here step, then it will start decrementing by 2 or 3, whatever. So it will start printing this 9, 6, 3, 0. So you can see this is also very amazing thing in Kotlin. So there are more functions in Kotlin, like range in Kotlin. So we are going to discuss in remaining things like in for loop range. So first of all, after discussing loops and if else, then let's start discussing what is when in Kotlin. So when is something like if else, when is something like switch statement in Java and C++, but when contains some advanced things, and when the conditions of when, and we can say the syntax of when is very easy than any other language. So let's start see how to work with switch statement with when keyword. So for when, we have to take a variable here first of all for showing you. So I declare a variable, and by default inside this I assign 33, and then when is like a switch, as I already tell you. So you have to type when keyword, and in this you have to type your variable which you want to switch. So this is fine, and here you have to use this 1, then dash, and then this arrow. Then after this you can do whatever you want. So if I type here print 1, so what is this 1? So this is one which is contained by your variable. So by default so I store 33, so it will not going to match this condition. So let us suppose if I have a 2 condition, so then I print, then I use 2, and you also have to use else. So, and otherwise if anything does not match, then we can use else. So inside else I can print none. So you can see this is very easy to use switch statement in Kotlin, because we don't need to put break here everywhere, something like that. So if I run this program, let me see what output we are going to get. So we are going to get like none. So you can see I get the output none. So now let's see if I store inside this 2. So when I run this program now, then what output I am going to get? I am going to get 2. So you can see I get the correct output. So hope you understand how when is work inside Kotlin. So you can also traverse the string, it is your choice. Now one more thing I also want to show you, this is the part of the for loop or ranges. So let us suppose if I have a val variable, and you can declare val where it is your choice. Then I give the name it fruits, and this is something called type of list, and inside the list I store some fruit names. So let us suppose this is banana, and don't go on the spelling, this is something like that, avocado, and after this we have a apple, and at last what we have a kiwi. So if I want to filter out some fruits name, then what I can do, I can type here fruits dot, and we have some methods like filter. So it will filter the, we have to use it keyword. So it is something like that to filter that in that particular list. So it dot, and inside this you can pass whatever you want. So let us suppose I want all fruits that start with A. So you can type in this. Then you can also use some method like sorted to sort this list. So you have to use sort by, and inside this you have to pass ascending or descending. So it will sort this in ascending order. Then you can convert everything in uppercase. So you can use dot map, and inside this you can pass it dot uppercase. So it will convert into all uppercase. So everything I can store inside a variable, again fruits. So this will filter out the list. So it is say to not reassign, so I have to change the type of variable where. So now it is fine. Now we can print this list for I in fruits, and then I can print this list. So print ln, and inside this I can pass I, and then I run this program. So let's see what output I am going to get. So you can see it is converted everything in uppercase, and I only get the output apple and avocado, because I use the if it is start with A, then I need this. Okay, so hope you understand how this thing works in Kotlin. Now I already explained you what is when statement. Now move on to some advanced topics which is known as class, inheritance, collection, string templates, data classes. So this is very important thing in Kotlin you should know. So now let's see how to create a class in Kotlin. So first of all, for creating the class, you have to type here class keyword, and then you can give any class name. So I give the class name customer, and inside this you don't need to pass anything, and then 2 curly braces. So you can see our class is created successfully. So this is the simplest method to create any class inside Kotlin. Now let us suppose if I have a variable inside my class. So let us suppose customer have a property of name. So inside this I declare a variable of var name, and the type of variable is string. So now the problem is in this, you have to must assign a value, dummy value inside this variable, otherwise it will going to show error. So you can see it say to property must be initialized or be abstract. So you must initialize the property. So I simply give the dummy value inside this. Now I can access this property. Now inside Kotlin we don't need to getter and setters, we can directly access the values and we can directly print the values. So for accessing the value, as you already know in Java what we have to do, we have to create an object of a class. So how to create an object in Kotlin? So we have a customer class, so I want to create an object. So first of all you have to give the variable type, it is var and val, it is your choice. Then you have to give any object name. So let us suppose if I type here student and employee, you can give whatever you want. Then inside this I want to store, then instead of employee it is better to give the name something like object Rahul. So Rahul is a customer, so Rahul has some properties like Rahul has a name and Rahul has an age. So I declare a variable age inside this class, so int, and by default what I store inside this int 2, or we can say store -1 because age is never only -1. So now I have to create the object. So for this you have to type here only customer. So that's it. Now the class object of this is created successfully. Now we can simply set the values in Rahul. Rahul has a name, you can see, and Rahul has some age. So if I type here Rahul and if I type here name, so I can set any value. So you can see I type here my name is Rahul. You can type whatever you want. So hope you understand how objects work in Kotlin. Now Rahul has some age, so Rahul age is 12. So now if I want to print this value, so I type here print ln, and inside this I want to print this. So the name of the customer is, so then I want to print the value of Rahul.name. So I have to take a dollar, then 2 curly braces, and then what I have to print Rahul.name. So you can see it is fine. Now if I type here println, and then inside this I can use the age of Rahul is, and then what I want to print, I want to print the value of Rahul.age. So I type here Rahul.age. So you can see it is very easy to work with Kotlin with classes. So you can see the name of customer is, my name is Rahul because I store the inside name my name is Rahul, and inside the age I store 12. So I am getting the correct output. So you can see we are not using the getter and setters here. So it is very easy to work with Kotlin. Now you can also create a constructor, and then inside this you can directly pass the name if you want. So let us suppose if I delete this, Control C, delete this one, and inside this let us suppose if I want to pass some values. So let us suppose if I want to pass some here data like my name, I type this string, and then you have to simply click on add parameter to constructor and click on refactor. So it will automatically add these parameters here. So you can see now inside this is a variable name and this is a string, so it will automatically pass this as a string. Now we can directly store this value inside this name. So I take a name, and inside this what I store, inside this I store s. So if I want to print the value of this s, so I can type here print ln, and inside this Rahul is object, and I want to print the name of Rahul, so Rahul.name. So it should be give the output of my name. So let's run this program and see what happened. So you can see it is giving the correct output. So hope you understand how to pass a parameter as in a constructor. I can remove this line. So this is just a simple basic concept of how class work in Kotlin. Now let's see how inheritance work in Kotlin. Now before talking about inheritance, one thing I want to tell you, in Kotlin we have a method something like init. So if you want to dump some work, then you can type this method inside init, and it will automatically run whenever you create the object of the class. So let us suppose if I type here println and I give the message, this runs automatically. So the output which I am going to get like something like that. First of all I create the object, so init method automatically will run, on creation of object. So the output value I am going to get like this runs automatically, and then I am going to get my name. So let's run this and see what happens. So I run this program, so you can see this run automatically. So this is very important if you want to do some work. So this is something init block, which is very important thing in Kotlin. So hope you understand how this will work. Now let's talk about inheritance in Kotlin. So I delete everything. So if you are from Java background, then you should know what is inheritance. So inheritance, like it is something like to save our reusable code. So let us suppose we have an animal, two animal, one is a cat and one is a dog. So cat can run, dog can also run. So these are some same methods. Then cat will meow but dog will bark. So these two are different methods. So how we can utilize this code? So let us suppose we can create a class for a dog, and then we add these both two methods, like for dog. Let us suppose we can add methods for dog, like dog can bark and dog can run, and then we have to create one more method for cat and class for cat, and then inside this we can type cat can meow and cat can run. But the run method is using in both classes. So how we can save our code? So we can directly create a class animal type, and then that class, so we can inherit the dog and cat class from that main class, and then we will utilize that code. So hope you understand what is inheritance. This is just for saving the code and creating the reusable code. So you should know also how to work with inheritance. So let us suppose if I have a class and I gave the class name, you can give whatever you want. So I give the class name cat, then take two curly braces, and let us suppose cat has some age. So I type here var age and give the age, first of all type of the integer, and then inside this by default I store -1. Then cat has some function like fun meow. So cat can meow. So then inside this I can print whenever someone call this function. So I can print here meow whenever the object of this is created successfully, and when we can call this function. So I type here meow. And then also cat has a function to eat something. So I type here fun and I give the function name eat. I can type here print, and inside this I can type here eating. So this is fine. Now we have to create one more class for dog. So I copy this code, Ctrl C copy, and paste the code here. After pasting the code here, I give the class name dog, and dog has also some age. So instead of age, we use here something called breed instead of age, and then breed is a type of string. So string, and by default what I store inside the string, dummy. So whatever you want. Then dog don't need a function of meow, so dog need the function of bark. So I can give the message here bark and give the println, so it is fine. Now dog has also a function of eating. So you can see dog has also a function of eating and cat has also a function of eating. So we can save this code by creating one more class that class will be inherited by these classes, and then we can create this function on that class. So we can use that class function for both of this. So this is just known as inheritance to create the reusable code. So how we can do the inheritance in this? First of all, let's run this code and see what happens. So we have to create an object of, so let us suppose I declare a variable name Tommy. So this is for dog class object. So dog, this is fine, and now Tommy has a breed, so Tommy.breed, and inside this what I store inside this labra. So you can store whatever you want, and then Tommy can bark, so Tommy.bark. So first of all I have to print the value of println, and inside this I can type here the breed is, and then $Tommy.breed. And then Tommy can bark and Tommy also can eat. So Tommy.eat. And this is same with cat. Now we have to create object for cat. So I give the cat name. So what is the cat name we can give? So I give the cat name Missy, something like that. And then we have to create the object. So cat, this is fine. Now inside this Missy has some age. So as you already know, I don't create the function in breed, I create the Missy as age. So inside age what I store, let us suppose 2. Then I print the value of println, and inside this I can type here the age of Missy. Then I have to take $, and then I can print the value of Missy. So Missy.age. So Missy also can eat, so I call the function Missy.eat, and then I call the function missy.meow. So let's run this program. So you can see what output I am getting. So the breed is Labra, bark, eating, the age of Missy 2, eating, meow. So you can see this code is work fine, but this is the reusable code. I can create one function eat for both of them, and then I can call the function accordingly. So hope you understand why we use inheritance. Now let's see how to implement inheritance in Kotlin. First of all, add a println here and println here. So for creating the function, creating inheritance, let's suppose we have to create one more class. So I type here class, then you have to give the any class name. So I give the class name animal, then take two curly braces. Now inside this you have to type the function which you want. So I copy this function, Control C, Control X cut, and I paste the function here, and I can also cut the function from here. So I delete this function from both cat class and dog class. So you can see it is showing error because this function is not exist. So now if I make inheritance between these classes, then it is not showing, it is not going to show error. So how we can make inheritance inside this? So first of all, we have, for inheriting the classes, we have to use open keyword. So I can type here, if I want to use this function, so first of all I have to type open. So now anyone can inherit this class. Now this is super class, so dog and cat is subclass. So now if anyone want to inherit this class, then how we can inherit this? So first of all, you can see this is class dog, and class dog want to inherit it by animal. So you have to use colon here, then I can type here animal. So when I type here animal, it's showing error. So it is showing error because you have to take two braces here. By default we don't need to take any braces. And one more thing I want to say, by default in Kotlin every class is final, and hope you understand. So you can see this is inherited. Now you can see Tommy.it is not showing error because dog is inherited by this. So now dog can call the function of eat in using this, and this is same we can do with a cat class, so animal, and inside this you can see. Now if I run, you can see it is not showing error. So if I run this program, so the breed is Labra, bark, eating, the age of Missy 2, eating, meow. So you can see this is the simplest method to understand what is inheritance in any language, not only in Kotlin, in any language. So hope you understand how inheritance work. Now one important thing I also want to tell you, let us suppose you want to use same function name in both classes, and then we have to use overriding. So overriding is also important. We can use the same function name and we can perform different work according to same function name. So let's see how overriding is work in Kotlin. So let us suppose, so for creating the function overriding in Kotlin, first of all you can see this is the common function eat for both dog and cat. Now let us suppose if I call the function of dog, then I want to type the message or print the message like dog is eating. But when I call the function of cat, I want to message cat is eating. So for this we can use overriding. So this is function eat. So first of all I have to make the function open. So when I make the function open, then I can use this function in anywhere. So let us suppose if I want to use here override, and then I can type here function eat. So hope you understand how this is work. Now this is by default super.eat. Later I will tell you what is the working of super.eat, and inside this I give the message here println, and inside this I give the message here, this is dog class, so dog is eating. So I am going to explain the most easiest way how to use override in Kotlin. So Control C copy, and I paste the function here again. So this is all about practice. If you do practice, then you can easily understand what I am doing. So you can see this in this cat class I want here eat, cat is eating. So now Kotlin automatically identify who is calling the function. So if I create the function of dog class, then it will going to call this function dog is eating. But if I create the object of cat class, then it will going to create this function cat is eating, calling the function cat is eating. So let's run this program, run kt. So you can see I get the breed is Labra, bark, and dog is eating, the age of Missy 2, cat is eating. So this is simplest method of understanding how overriding work in Kotlin. Now let us suppose I want to call this function println eating. So how you can call this function? So you can see this is by default method. You have to use here super.eat. If you use here super.eat here, then you can call the function of super class. So if I run this program, now I am going to getting the output also eating. So you can see eating, and then I get the message dog is eating. So this is the simplest method of how class work and how inheritance work in Kotlin. So let's delete this code and let's move on to some other topics, collections in Kotlin. That one is very important also. So first of all I delete this one. Now open my slide, and what is left inside this. So collection are left, string, templates and data classes. So these three topics are left. So after this we will end this video. So first of all, I want to tell you the types of collection. So on screen you can see these are the type of collection. So first of all, we have two types of collection, basically mutable and immutable. Immutable means, so let us, like the val, if we assign some value in val, then we can change, we can only read the value. So this is something like read only and read and write. So collection has two type, immutable and mutable. So immutable consists list of, map of, set of. So these are immutable, and the mutable are ArrayList and hash map and hash set. So we are going to do everything one by one. So how everything is work. So let's see how to create. So first of all, as I already tell you how to create list of, so I again telling you. So if I want to give any variable name, let us suppose if I give my list, this one, and then I have to create a list of. So inside this you can pass parameter or not, it is your choice whether you want to pass type of the parameter, and inside this you can store whatever you want. So if I store here A, then B, then C, so you can see I can simply print this list, but I can't use this list. So let us suppose if I print this, so I get the output ABC. So this is the collection, and now if I want to add something data in list, my list dot add, you can see it is not showing anything. So we can only read the values from string, but we can't write the value in the list. So hope you understand, and it contains some functions like last index of and this kind of thing, so you can use this. Now let's talk about map of. Map of is also immutable. So how to create map of? So map of is something like to create mapping the objects and with the values a key value pair. So if I type here var and give any variable name, so I can give my map, and then I create this my map of, and inside this you have to pass two parameters. First is the key and second is the value. So you can type string, integer string, it is your choice, whatever you want. So I want to map one with two bridges, so you have to use two keyword. So this is string, so you have to put this data into string, and then you can 2 and 1 to 2 to map with tech projects. So you can type whatever you want, and this is just a way of creating map of in Kotlin. So now if I want to print the map of, so print ln, and you can print the any specific index value, and you have to use this method map of dot get, and inside this you can pass the index, and whatever you want to pass you can pass this, and you can also use this get method in list of also. So if I run this program, you can see I am going to get the output v Brijesh, because 1 is mapping to Brijesh and 2 is mapping to tech project. So if I type here 2, then I am going to output of Brijesh tech project. Now if I type here 22, then let us suppose if I run this program now, then see what output we are going to get. So you can see it is going to null because 22 is not exist inside this map. So this is map of, and this is also immutable, so we can't add values inside this map. You can see we are not able to add any value. So, and it also contains functions, so you can explore the function by using documentation. Now the third thing which is known in Kotlin is set. So set is a pair of contain unique elements. So there is difference between set and hash set. So I am going to explain everything. So first is, let us suppose if I want to create set, so I give the variable and my set, and then inside this you have to use the keyword of set of, and inside this you have to pass the type of the set, whatever you want. So I want a set of integer type, so 2 3 4 5 6 7, you can add whatever you want, and then you can print this set, and you can print some different values, and you can use lots of methods present in my set. So if my set contains 2, let us suppose if my set contains 2, then it will going to print this yes. So you can see now I'm going to get the output yes, because my set contain 2. But now if I try to print the length of the set, so my set dot length, so print my set dot length size. Now if I run this, then what output I am going to get? You can see I get the output 5, but it contains 6 elements. So I already tell you set contain only unique values. So this 6 is considered, this 6 is not considering. So that's why it is containing as 1. And now if I run this, then I am going to output, this time I am going to get the output 6. So you can see it is fine. So this is the collection of immutable type. Now let's see the array list and hash sets. So this kind of things in Kotlin. So for creating the array inside Kotlin, you have to type here var, and then you can give any variable name. I give the variable name my array, and inside this you have to type here array, array. Inside this you have to give the type of the array, so integer, and then you can specify the size of the array, so what size you want. So if I type here 5, and by default what you want to store inside this, you have to also pass this, 0. Now if I want to print all array, so by default it contains 0, so I use this for I in my array and print ln, and inside this pass I. So run this, you can see I'm getting the output 0 0 0, because by default it contains 0 and the size is fixed. Now if I want to store different value and different index, let us suppose in my array at index 2 I want to store 32, and my array at index 4 I want to store 43. So this is done. Now if I run this program, then now I output what I am getting. So you can see 0 0 32 0 43. So this is mutable, so we can change the values after declaring this. So this is the method how to create array inside this in Kotlin. Now let's see how to create array list in Kotlin. So array list is something similar like array, but it is not has a fixed size, so you can add values and you don't need to declare values. So for creating the array list, you have to type here var array list. First of all, give any variable name. So I give the variable name ArrayList, and then you have to use keyword ArrayList of, and inside this you have to pass the type of array whatever you want. So you can pass string and you can pass anything. So I am going to create the ArrayList of string type A, then I store the values B, then C, then D. So one thing I also want to tell you, you don't need to, this is not compulsory to pass values, so you can directly use this, and you can also use this ArrayList dot add, and inside this you can add element. So you have to pass index, and you can pass any value whatever you want to add on that index. So it is not compulsory to passing the values here like array. So I control Z, and now you can print the values of this array. So print, and I pass here ArrayList. Then I run this, and let's see what output I am going to get. So you can see ABCD. So this is done. Now let's see what is hash map in Kotlin. So hash map is mutable, so we can use hash map, and map of is not mutable, and immutable map of, and hash map is mutable. So now I take a variable and give the variable name map, and then then hash map, and inside this you have to pass key and value pair, so integer and the type of what you want, so string, and then after this is done. Now you can add the values inside this map dot put, and inside this you have to pass the values in key format, key value. So I type here to Brijesh. So this is done. Now I can directly print this value, so print, and I can type here map dot get, and I can pass the key 2. And also you can use this function like map dot replace, and you can replace the particular key value. So if I replace this by tech project, so now if I am going to print this, then I will going to get the output tech project. So control C and paste the statement here and run this program. So you can see first I get the output Brijesh, then I replace this Brijesh by tech projects, then I get the output tech project. So hope you understand how hash map work in Kotlin. So collection is over. Now the thing is only left, which is our string templates and data class in Kotlin. So string template is like something called string properties. So if I type here var and then give any variable name, let us suppose if I give the string, not string, name, and then type of the string is string, type of the variable, and it is not compulsory to mention the type, I can directly store the values. So if I type here Brijesh, so then if I type here, I take one more variable name 2, and inside this I store tech, then I can directly use this property name. So I take here name equal name plus name 2, and then I can directly print this. So print, and inside this I can pass here name, this one, and I run this program. So I get the output Brijesh text. So you can see it is very easy to concatenate the string in Kotlin. Now you can also calculate the length of any string, name dot length, and if I run this program, so you can see I get the output 7. Now if I want to print the value of any particular index, so if I type here 2, and now it will going to show the output I. So you can see I get the output. So this is something called string properties, and you can use this property for various purposes in Android development. Now the last thing, which is most important thing, data class in Kotlin. So when you want to deal with the data of a class, not with the data object of the class, so then we can use the data class in Kotlin. Now let us suppose if I have a class. So if I give the class and use the class keyword, and I give the class name user, and then take two curly braces and two colon. Now inside this I create the object of this class. So where, and I give the name user1 equal user. This is the class name our, and inside this I pass some name Brijesh, and then I give the age of Brijesh 22, something like that. Then I create this where user2, and I create second object of this class, and inside this I pass here Sam, and I give this age of Sam is 24, and then you can see it is showing error. So take your cursor here and click on add parameter to this, and it will add this parameter. So now it is done. Now if I try to compare this object, so if user1 equal user2, if user1 equal user2, then it will show the output equal, otherwise not. So print equal, and otherwise it will going to show the output not. So else print not. So if I run this program, then the quite obvious answer what I am going to get, I get not. But let us suppose if I give the same values here, Sam again, and here I give the 24. Now if I run this, now what I am get the output not, but the values are same. So why it is happening? Because this is deal with the object, and these are two different objects. It does not matter the value, whether the value is same or not, but the objects are different. So that's why it is showing the different output here not. Now if I want to deal with the variables, or we can say values of the objects, then how can we can use the keyword here data. So when you type here data, first of all you have to declare the parameters of type the variable of where and val, it is your choice. Now if I run this program now, then I will going to get the output equal, because now it is dealing with the data. So you can see it is very amazing thing in Kotlin. So now if I try to print the value of print and user1, then I run this program. So you can see I get the output users as Sam is equals to and I 24, and I get the output equal. So hope you understand what is data class in Android, what is data class in Kotlin, and why we use the data class. Now there are lots of properties of data class is also present in Kotlin. So let us suppose if I delete this, and if I create a new user where user3, and inside this I can directly use this user1.copy. So it will going to copy the of user1, and then I can print. If I try to print and user3, so I am going to get the same output. So this is the function of data class is helpful. Now you can also replace the thing by copy. So let us suppose you want to replace the string by name. So if I type here s, and then I can replace it by anything. So if I type here s equal, and the new name is Sammy, and then I run this, then I can get the output Sammy, and the age is 24. So this is the benefit of using data class. You can, if you have something like that kind of work in Android development, then this will going to very helpful. So make sure this thing you should know in Android. So hope you understand. So finally it's time to end this tutorial. Some topic is left like lambda and higher order function, but I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I try to explain lots of things in a very easy way and in very less time. So hope you understand everything. If you have any question, you can comment down below. I will try to give the answer of every comment. Please like the video, please share the channel, because if you want to some projects based on Android development and some high level project which you can add in your resume and for final year, then I am going to upload on this channel, but only if I get support. So please like the video and please share the channel and please subscribe the channel. If you have any question, you can comment down below. I will definitely come back with another video. Thank you. See you soon in next amazing video.